Play surges forward. Possibility!
It's time for a viewer request. Big shout out to James, who asked if I would take a look at Virtua Pro Football. So here we go. This is Retro Football. Welcome back, guys. This is a game I did play at some point in my football gaming career, if you like. And yeah, let's see what I think of it these days. I'm not going to spoil things and tell you what I thought of it back in the day. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, let's look at the clubs here. So the fake teams have got real club names, but as you can see, the club crest, even the little sound effects when you select a team, very similar to PES around the time, which is interesting. But we have got some licensed leagues, as you can see here. Serie A is licensed. I think La Liga, yeah, La Liga's got a partnership, I think, with Sega for this game. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting playing this. It's been a long time. So let's pump up the com level. But, I mean, guys, look how PES everything looks. Even the font. The font is more or less the same there, isn't it, in your menus? Accuracy of judgment. So this did release in Japan first, I think. I'm right in saying that. And then we got it in Europe a few weeks or a few months later, around 2006, 2007. I think around now, PES 6 on PS2 would have been a game many of us would have been playing, or maybe PES 6 on Xbox 360. Here are the player models, which they look a bit tubby, don't they? They look like barrels, the players in this. I'm not sure on the player models. Kits look good. But yeah, I've turned the music off. I couldn't work out if it was licensed music. It was some dodgy reggae tune. And if you were wondering what this game was called in Japan, it was known as World Football Climax. And I'm not kidding. So yeah, we've got Alan Green on comms. I've selected the Twilight Stadium. We've got the rain lashing down. Alan Green, if you're not familiar, is, or used to be, I don't know if he still is, Radio 5 Live commentator on match day. I find him to be a bit annoying, personally. But I'm sure he's got his fans. But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I played this game. And I'll say straight away, it's no PES beta. But from what I remember, it wasn't terrible.
So, let's have a look at the starting lineups. Villarreal CF.
So we've got all the real players here, as you can see. The proper lineups, club crests, again, for the licensed clubs like the La Liga clubs. I even think the second division in Spain, Secunda, was licensed in this. I might be wrong on that. I think the Netherlands leagues were licensed, that kind of thing. But, I mean, the Premier League license was so hard to get for anyone back then. Here are your cameras. You've got the choice of two, but you can zoom it in and out. That's right, I remember this now. I've got a short story about this game, so let's get going here. But yeah, there was a guy I knew who worked with me, and he was adamant that this was a better game than PES. Like, he owned this, and this is how I played it. I actually played it at his flat a few times when we used to go around there for beers and that kind of thing. And he was adamant, and I was just like, nah, man, it's just not, you know? It's not a bad game, this. But for me, I don't like how weird the players feel on the ball. They feel rigid. Okay. There is something about this game I like. The thing with this game, it's just a copy and PES. For me, even your controls are the same. Square to shoot, X to pass, circle to cross, triangle for through ball. You've got the L1 and R1 to change player and sprint. I mean, it's identical. It's not even like being subtle with it. Okay. I mean, it is a Japanese publisher. Obviously, Sega and Konami are a Japanese publisher as well. So I don't know if I don't know the politics behind this. I don't know if we've got any developers who maybe worked on some older PES versions like PES 3 and PES 4 and then jumped over to Sega to help with this. I don't know. I think graphically it looks decent. The pitch textures look really good in this. Actually better than PES in my opinion. Pitch textures are so cool in this. But yeah, it's just I find it a completely forgettable game. It's alright to pick up and have a mess around with for a couple of matches. And like I say, play a couple of tournaments with friends, co-op, some couch co-op, but I'd always end up going back to PES and playing my Master League there. I don't know if this has got a career mode. I'm in because I can't remember if it has. We'll have a look at that. I'll quit out of this match at some point. Let's try and score a goal first, see what the replays are like and that kind of thing. Crowd chants are good. Commentary, even though I'm not keen on Alan Green, the commentary is very good. I'd argue it's a lot better than PES's commentary around the time. There's more enthusiasm. I think he's got more dialogue as well. Hey! But yeah, it's... it's not the best football game we've ever seen. I mean, it's the PS2. What do we always say on the channel? The PS2... If you wanted to own a console just for football gaming, buy a PlayStation 2. It doesn't get better. Because even these sort of strange little niche or lesser known football titles, there is fun to be had with some of these. I mean, you've got the likes of club football as well, which I had high hopes for, but turned out to be a bit of a stinker. You've got so many games on PS2, or so many football games especially. Whereas these days, it's just eFootball. FIFA, eFootball, FIFA. I don't know why I said it in that voice. But yeah, the magic is gone, isn't it? Let's quit out of this. Let's see what career mode options we do have in Virtua Pro Football. On the Sega. On the Sega? It's not on the Sega, it's on the PS2. It's made by Sega. It's actually not developed by Sega, though. I did write this down. It's actually developed by someone called Smilebit, which I've never heard of, I have to say. But it's just very Sega, isn't it, from the presentation here. Or rather, Konami from the presentation. I mean, look at these menus. But they're nice and clean and they work, they're snappy, and that's what I liked about PS2 PES. What were the menus? You just get in and out stuff quickly. It weren't all clunky like FIFA on PS2 was. Going between screens in the FIFA games took forever because it was bloated out with fluff that you didn't really need. But anyway, I think I found the career option, or as good as we're going to find when it comes to this game, in the Premier Division. Let's see what the fake kits look like in this. Because I've gone with Manchester, who are obviously supposed to be Man United. That's quite offensive to all the Man City fans, I'm sure. There we go. That actually does look very similar to, yeah, that season, 2005-2006 season, I think. I remember both of those kits very well. So they've got as close as they can, or rather much better than PES used to do when they used to make their fake kits, because some of them looked atrocious. They were nothing like the counterparts. At least in this you can tell that that was Man United's home kit that season.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to tonight's big...
So is Old Trafford in this? I didn't see it in the stadium list earlier, but that looks very similar to me. How have they got away with this then, if they haven't got the license for it? Oh, it's called the Abbey Road Stadium. Yeah, that stand looks different than the one you could see there. It's like a hybrid of Anfield and Old Trafford, isn't it? And I think that's why they've called it Abbey Road, because that's obviously related to the Beatles. It's a place in Liverpool, isn't it? Or is it one of the Beatles albums is called Abbey Road? I don't know. Is that the way they recorded their albums? I don't know. I don't like the Beatles. Don't hit the dislike button for me saying that. I'm one of the very few people in the world who do not like the Beatles. Or I don't like their music, rather. But anyway. Look at Rio Ferdinand. That looks nothing like him. That was hilarious.
So, let's have a look at the starting lineups. Manchester playing their usual...
But again, we've got the real player names. So with this, it's got the 5th Pro license, which developers acquired to have real player names. Because in PES, you always had the real player names, or you did at a later stage of their game library. Unless it was like a team which had heavy licensing with Nike or someone, like I think the Netherlands might have at one point, because all their players were called Oranges. Oranges 1, Oranges 2, that kind of thing. That I think that's related to Nike licensing and that kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, let's try some middle, because I'm finding this far out view a little bit... I don't know. I don't know what I'm finding it. A bit difficult to get anything going, but look how quick it all is with this camera angle, because you're close to the action. So it's a hybrid of like arcade sim. It's an arcade, or it's a simcade, isn't it, this game? Hey, Giggs just knocks it on and runs. But yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any goals in this episode, I'm afraid, guys, because I've put it in the highest difficulty, but like I say, getting anything going is a bit of a chore in this. I'm sounding overly critical of the game. Owen's in! Owen's in! Van der Sar saves. Yeah, I'm sounding overly critical. It's not that I don't like the game, it's just... It's never going to stand a chance up against PES 5 and PES 6, because that is the era. It's never, ever going to stand a chance against those games. Look at the position symbols next to the player names. So MF, FW, that kind of thing. That's identical to PES as well. The radar looks very, very similar to a PES on PS2 game. It's crazy. Yeah, I can't be doing with that pace of the game. It's too quick. I can't see enough of the pitch when it's in default camera either.
Oh, superb ball. That pass was going nowhere. Not taking any risks.
Okay. Is Rooney... Ooh.
Well played.
But yeah, that's a quick look at Virtua Pro. Virtua Pro footy on the Sony PlayStation 2. I nearly said Sega Dreamcast. I got Sega on my mind. It's okay. It's a decent game. It's actually a very good request. Oh, what happened then? Do you see that? It was like going to switch into some weird sort of cutscene or something. I'm sure there's a game mechanic in this that I'm missing. Oh, hold that thought. It's Rooney. Oh. Oh, look at Rooney's player likeness as well. Yeah, it's okay. This game's okay, but I'm sure I am missing something quite unique to this game, which PES doesn't have, like an arcadey sort of thing you press to do something. But I'm not getting any prompt so far with this. I'm going to spend a bit more time with this today, actually. See what else this game has to offer. But yeah, good request, James. Keep your requests coming, guys, but do check the playlist first to find out if I have already covered said game. Look out for the PES 6 Master League episode. I don't remember what episode is next. That's coming soon as well. Plus, we've got loads and loads of other content planned as well. I'll speak to you all. Hey. I'll speak to you all very soon.
This is dangerous. Defender's lost it. Oh dear, that's a terrible own goal. Manchester score a terrible own goal. Now, let's have a look at the replay. Oh, look at that again. What a fantastic goal.